Welcome everyone to another exciting ICT plugged activity class. I guess we enjoyed our last class. In our previous lesson, we looked at variables with the artist. In this class, we are going to be also looking at variables, but this time we look at changing variables with B. Now in this class, we will be looking precisely at the meaning of variables. We also look at what constants are, some variable blocks, and as usual, a practical class on variables. Now, first of all, what are variables? We said that variable is a placeholder for a piece of information that we can change. Now, when we say a placeholder, I remember I told us in our last class that variable can also be seen like an envelope where you can put information. Now, that information can be collected at any time. Or you can say a label for a piece of information used in a program. Now, like we said, inside a placeholder, which is a file, we can get thousands of information that are placed inside. Now, when those information are called, immediately you can just get them. Now, a variable can be like a file where we keep vital information. Now, you remember your files that you have at home, where you can easily go there and check for your scores, your past questions, whenever you need it. Some people have kept past questions for first test, second term, and they will use it for revision in their exam. Yes, and you put it in your file. So when you need it, whenever you need those past questions, you can just easily go to your file and pick them up. Now you can decide to even have more than one files for each of the term. You can name it as file 1 for first term, file 2 for second term, and file 3 for third term. So when you want to get information from each of the term, it's just for you to go to any of the files that you have labeled and collect it. Now, such files are called variables, which we see them as a placeholder where information can be kept. Now, whenever we need a command, we just check through the variable and we can get whatever we want. Now, this information that is placed in a variable can be collected at any time. Whenever they are called, they respond immediately. Now, we have been talking about variable. Now, what are constants? Constant is seen as a variable used throughout a program that never changes value. Now, the difference between constant and variable is that constant changes value. We can go to our variable and edit information that are kept there, but constants can never change. The values remain the same. Now, an example of variable is gather. Maybe I have an information that I want to collect in a program and I just say gather. Like in a bee now, which is the practical class that we're going to have, a bee collects nectars. Now when you see collect 4 nectars and another place you see collect 10 nectars, you just use a variable called gather. It gathers all the nectars together. But constants, they never changes their value. Unlike a variable, the constant never changes information. Now we'll move straight into our practical class to see how we can use variable in collecting nectars from a flower. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, everyone. Now we are now in codes.org. In the code studio, we talked about changing variable with B. And this is our first puzzle. This one says finish this code so that the bee can collect all the honeys and nectar. First of all, we have our section areas. Now in this section area, we have the action section, we have the loop section, we have the conditional section, the function section, the variable section, the math section, and the comment section. Now when we talk about the action section is what we use for movement. If I click on it, I see move forward, turn left, turn right, get nectar. Now all these are commands that are given to our program. Now we'll talk about the loop section. We all know the loop section, the repeat section, the while loop ahead, conditional section. We did conditionals in Minecraft last term where we talked about if-else statements, the if-else command. While the function section told us that function causes something to happen, and function name, you give it a function call name or a declaration name. And this is the call and this is the declaration. We also have variable block. Now some of the variable block which we are going to be looking at today, remember I told us that we have the gather as an example of variable block. We have the set gather to block, and we also have maths which will have set to. They are examples of variable block. We have maths where you have plus and minus. We are going to also work on this. And lastly, comment block where we can get information that we have done in our program. We can be able to drop a command or a comment. So in this one, they want us to finish this code. Now, when they say finish this code, we are going to look at our play area first of all. Let's talk about this first command. Now, if you look at this place, they want us to add a command to this empty box. Now, how many times are we collecting? Let's see. We're collecting 1, collecting 2, and collecting 3. So in this our repeat box, we're going to put how many repeats? Yes, we're going to be adding 3 repeats. So go to our variable. Yes, we change it from 1 to 3. So I'm changing it now to 3. Yes, that is all for that. Now, in our function block, they also give us space that we're going to put. But now, this time, we're not going to put numbers inside. Instead, we're going to be adding a variable. Now, if you watch here, they say we should set gather. We already set gather at 2 times. It means that we're going to be gathering 2 items, which is the nectar, and also we're going to also carry the honey. So it means that wherever we see a repeat, we're going to be putting the variable block, which is gather. So I'll come here and carry gather and put it inside here, gather. I'll come here and carry gather again and place it inside here, gather. I'll come here and carry gather also from the variable section of our toolbox area. And lastly, I'll also carry gather here. Okay, that's all. So that is all for our first puzzle. Let's see if what we did is correct. Yes. So you see, congratulations, we just completed that first puzzle. So it's easy to use variable because it's a placeholder where information are stored. Let's move to our next puzzle. Now, this is the second puzzle. This one says, edit your solution in one place so that the bee can collect all the honey and nectar. So it means that they just want us to edit just one place. Whatever we put edit in one place affects everywhere. Now let's see what we are going to edit. Now for the bee to get to this nectar, it needs to move how many times? 3 times to move here. But in our gather, we have just 2 gather instead of 3. It's collecting 3 items, which is 3 in each of the items, and it's moving 3 times. So what we'll do is change this variable from 2 to 3. And that is all. We'll click on run and watch it go. Nice. So that is all for the second. You see, variables is easy to work on. Let's go to block or puzzle theory. Okay, this is puzzle theory. Now for puzzle theory, it says, such an amazing garden. Look at the garden, very amazing. In this puzzle, each patch needs the variable to be one less than the patch before. So we're already talking about mass now. You see what we say, one less than. Subtract 1 from the variable each time through the loop if you want to use the same function to solve the level. So what they want us to do, they say that we should subtract one of our variables. So what we'll do, we'll just first of all come to set variable, which is the set gather. We attach it here. Then we come to maths. Okay. So now, but what they want us to do, they don't say we should remove 1. They say we should remove the variable. So we're going to remove this and we'll change it to gather because we're removing 1 from each of the variable. The variable here is gather. So instead of adding 1, we're going to do what? Minus 1. Then, okay, that is, yes, let's see if we are right or wrong. Yes, gather to minus 1, very correct. So click on run to watch it go. Nice. So we're going to take one last puzzle to end this class. Now this says, let's keep going. Edit the code to make it work for this puzzle. So in this puzzle, we're not going to be minusing because it's from the smallest to the biggest. Like the previous one we did was from the biggest to the smallest. That was why we were minusing 1. But this one, instead of us to be minusing 1, we are adding to it. Here is 1, here is 2, here is 3. So instead of us minusing 1 variable, we're going to do what? We're going to be plusing 1 variable. So we're going to put plus and click on run. So we're not going to, oh, okay, let's see what we have not done. So instead of us to minus, we're going to add, then here we're going to change it to 1 because we're starting from 1 to 3. We're not starting from 3 to 1. Okay, let's click on 1. Yeah. That's how we end today's class. Don't forget, coding is fun. Keep on coding. Bye.